Lava 20 from Owl Waterproofing is an extremely durable liquid waterproofing system that is both versatile and flexible. Here is a typical build-up, waterproofed with Lava 20. On the sides you have the B260 raised edge trims. On the front you have the A200 drip edge trim for the water to go into the gutter. And on the back, toward the wall, you have the AT195 L-shaped, or you have the D260 wall fillet. At the top of the wall fillet, it's common practice to install flashing LED or GRP, or you can use a termination bar. And on the deck you can see the trims nailed into place with galvanized clout nails. And then your OSB deck, you can see your build up with primer and the Lava 20 system with matting etc. as required. Start with the trims. These are all for edges, profiles, drip edges. This is basically where your gutter goes. So A200 this is called. These raised edges is if you want to direct the water back onto the roof and down. They're called B260s or B300s. They're called raised edge trims. We have one or two other ones. This is basically a D260 trim. Basically it's a wall fillet trim, so this hits the deck and then this hits the wall and your flashing goes over it. The next one we have there is an L-shaped trim called an AT195. Also can be used on upstands, around skylights, on basically parapet walls, anywhere where you basically have a kind of a right angle, even though it's not totally straight, but you basically pin it on, mastic, screw and glue them into position. So that's your D260, your AT195. That's your drip trims, big and small. Gutter goes under. Your A's as I showed you here. Your B trim here on the edge again, so you can see it. Directs the water in, drips down, so there's no gutter required on this side. And that's pretty much all the trims. Outlets and stuff, they're outlets that go through parapet walls. So we also do vertical outlets as well. They are what they are. These are special liquid ones. Same price as standards. Liquids go under, water goes out through the wall, etc. We've got these little rigs all set up basically in kind of order to save time. We're going to step one, mastic. Fill any joints or any holes, so fill and smooth. That's step one. Step two, I have it done and ready, and we're going to prime this up and tape it up.
Step 3 then, we'll do the same thing here. It's another trim set, I'll show you them in a second. And basically the same thing, we're going to prime it, lay our lava, reinforce the joints, and we'll do our top coats and all that sort of stuff there, anti-slip and dark grey. So you'll be able to see every stage of it, and hopefully it won't take us too long to go through. An old nice bead. Any of the screw holes. Job done. You basically just lay a nice bead and then scrape it flat. So when it comes to priming, some people think douse it out of it, lash it on. It's not really the best thing to do, because all you're doing is, number one, wasting material, and number two, you're wasting time, because you're going to have to wait longer for it to dry. So it's basically just a rule of thumb with this stuff is, when you're dipping your brush in, or your roller as the case may be, always push off any excess, and it's just a light layer over it to consolidate it, you know, so there'll be no reactions. And it'll also seal the timber in such a way that it doesn't drink the material on you, i.e. so you're not using, it'll seal the pores of the timber so it's not soaking in, so you have a nice film build up on top. So usually with this primer, why everyone likes it is basically, yeah, it's the speed. So for example, if you're doing an area there and the other fella's getting ready over here, by the time you prime there and you're going to prime here, the next guy can start working over there. It's drying like literally 10 minutes. Most of cans, 6 kg goes with the tiny catalyst. You've got a 15 kg of the same material. The catalyst is slightly bigger, and then you've got the big 25 kg drums, and the catalyst is slightly bigger again. So
what's the ratio for usually?
The ratio?
Yeah.
The ratio is, it's perfectly, that is the perfect ratio. So if you want that to cure at its fastest rate, dump the whole thing in, mix it up, and that's going to cure at its fastest rate to the most precise ratio. So yeah, so you don't have to do any maths, just work quickly and get it done. It's fairly straightforward. Just get a little bit of your liquid, Lava 20. Lay a base coat. The tape is 4 inches wide, so you want to be kind of doing 5 inches minimum, 6 inches or whatever, you know. So when you put your tape down, it's getting fully embedded from left to right. Nice little trick is when you're getting the tape, just kind of fold it in. That way you're pushing it over. Watch the wind doesn't catch it as well. Bump, bump in there. While that's soaking in. So it's pretty much straightforward with this thing. Liquid followed by tape followed by more liquid. So on a new build, it's usually a good idea to give it a 2-coat job. We will throw a bit out, and we're just going to fully mat this to save a bit of time. So if you get it on something, or if you need to clean it off, this is the best way to do it. That was dried in there already. But see this stuff? It'll wash it away almost like a washing up liquid. Stuff like that just tidies it up again. So instead of sitting there gouging it out and all that sort of stuff, having the right material at hand, put your finger on it. So, I've kind of done the maths on it there, and it's about 60 to 70% faster to install because you're not doing multiple passes. So with the resin you're doing a layer, sanding it down, doing another layer, rolling out the air bubbles. You have to repeat that process, you know what I mean, 2 or 3 times. Whereas this material, it's got a bit more body to it, it's a little bit heavier, and it's got a few fibres in it as well. So you can literally hold a nice bit without it running off the roller on you. See that there? This way it's holding a lot more. A double reinforcement is never a bad idea. We'll throw a bit of tape over the top section of this as well.
Done with this?
Yeah, thanks. You can spread it out there now in a sec if you want. That's just a bit of lava on its own there. So we'll give you a little feeler, so it'll take a hell of a lot of impact, you know? The main difference between this and the silicone, it's tough. Done more damage to the ear. So look, they all just rub off. Barely puts a mark in the thing. So that'll take traffic all day long, you know? Foot traffic, bikes, cars. The only thing it won't take is a forklift turning on the spot. That's like 3 tons of pressure. Car parks, all that sort of stuff, everything in between. Sound, yeah, no bother for floors and all, definitely. Balconies, all that type of thing, no problem. Yeah, primer, yeah. We're going to do the lava on this one, and we'll do the silicone on this one. Why do you have 2 systems? What's the difference? This one, so it's a bulletproof job, this one.
How much per square metre does it do? 1 can?
Let me throw it in there first, yeah? Lovely. This can be done all in one process, or as they call it, wet on wet. So liquid, matting, liquid, wet on wet.
Alright.
Again, you want to be getting your 2.5 kg a square metre, up to 3 square metre with this material. And you want to be, see the way I've got a nice flood line there? You always want to be, it's a good indication if you're pulling the material and it's, your thing is pulling away, you're not using enough, do you know what I mean? Yeah. There should be always a nice little bit of a flood line in front of you. It should never look hungry after you're doing it, do you know what I mean? There should be almost a nice smooth finish on it, almost glass-like, even through matting or on a whatever, concrete or felt, even metal surface. Should usually, and with this stuff as well, you don't have to be Picasso to get a nice finish, you know what I mean? Even if you're messy, like, watch it for like 30 seconds, it'll sit back down, it'll self-level, you know what I mean? Within like 10 seconds it's after leveling itself there. That's pretty much it. So generally, it's a nice light layer goes down first and just acts as the glue. Then it'll be followed by quartz or aggregates, as the case may be. I'll show you how you can basically do a resin system with this resin bound paving. So you can basically do anything from small aggregate finishes up to big fancy garden ones, you know. You throw the quartz on until it accepts no more. It's basically until it gives you what they call, it's not kicking out anymore, so it's sticking. This is just an anthracite grey top coat. What does it do? Well, number one, it's definitely a kind of popular finish. It's getting a little bit anti-slip here now, but anyway. One, it's a popular colour because of the slate roofs, and everyone likes dark grey. Architects and all are mad for specking this stuff. It's just because it's a nice finish and blends in. But it has a few benefits to it as well. Number one, it's a little bit harder. It's a bit more like a plasticky finish. In theory, when you put this on as well, the system will last forever. So one, looks. Two, it's a little bit more scratch resistant. And you get real nice coverage out of it as well. You're not putting this on real heavy like 2.5 or 3 mil or anything. It's literally just a light coat over the whole thing.
One coat, is it?
Yeah, one coat. You can use this with quartz. This is the same. It can be used in an anti-slip application as well. That's it, done. Just going over it now, you know. No, because this is basically the same as the clear, except it's pigmented, it's coloured. You can use either or. So on that one we're just going to leave it with the dark grey. This one we're going to do the dark grey, but then we're going to put quartz on it. It'll probably dry quick enough, actually it will, it'll dry quick enough for us to do a clear top coat. So for example, going back to that, imagine no magic formula, you just mash it on until it doesn't accept it anymore. If you were going to do a real light anti-slip finish that's literally for safety only, you can just chuck it up into the air and let it find its own way. We're going for a fancy look finish on this here, so we'll load it. Always make sure, be generous with the quartz. It's all pure silicone and this is a urethane. So we've just a mock basically joint here. We didn't even bother torching them together. Warranty with this material is a 20-year warranty. This one is a 25-year warranty. Impact resistant. This isn't made for tables and chairs. So a felt roof up out of the way or whatever. Cleaning out the gutters once a year or a little bit of the odd maintenance, that's no problem. Usually they break down with expansion and contraction. They can't handle it very well. So a little bit of your silicone, L-roof silicone down, grab a bit of tape. This is a polyester fabric tape. Embed it into your joint. Could have done that a bit neater. Version of this as well for fixings on the roof, you know, metal fixings and all that sort of crack. So it's literally like that, liquid, tape, liquid. Build the joints up a little bit and then the rest of it is just a straightforward coating, you know.
That'll stay sort of flexible.
Throw a drop there. Should have enough. You're going for a minimum of 1 mil thickness with this product. Whereas this one, and it's unreinforced and no primer. So as you can imagine, it's a fair bit quicker to install and a bit more cost effective. So you could essentially get the roof done, get it clean and dry, get in, and when you're coming down off the roof, it can piss rain out of the heavens, no problem. And then, yeah, no bother. You can come back the next day, and even if there's a puddle of water still on the roof, you'll put your finger through that puddle of water and it'll be pure dry underneath, you know?
How long does it take to dry?
A couple of hours. It depends on the weather, do you know what I mean? On a day like today, sure, that was nearly, I only opened that bucket there half an hour ago and the top of it was starting, you know what I mean? But you do get a nice bit of hot life out of it. Here. This one is unsealed, so as you can see here, it'll soak straight into the wall. We've got a bit of sealer on it, so as you can imagine, it does exactly what you think and goes straight in. So this one here, we have this one sealed with our water repellents. So basically, you know what I mean? It just beads and runs off. So as you can see there, sorry, you know what I mean? There's quite a difference. It's water based, it's breathable, and it bounces off. So if your wall has a bit of moisture in it or whatever, this will not accept any new moisture, and when it heats up, it will still be able to breathe and vent out any trapped moisture that's in the wall. So 1, it'll dry the wall, 2, it'll make it warmer, and 3, it'll still allow it to breathe. So it's nice for old houses, brickwork, conservation work, all that kind of thing, you know.
I'm talking about the donkey.
But both of them will do
the exact same. Sorry.
Both of them will do the same thing. The liquid is applied in 2 coats. It'll be a lower strength version, and then the cream will be applied in 1 coat. It's a higher strength version. You're talking about 33% active ingredient versus 15% active ingredient. Both of them, like, put that into context of something else that's available on the market. Use a typical example of Ronseal. It's less than 2% active ingredient, you know. So even our lower potency product is still like nearly 10 times more effective than the off-the-shelf brand. But if you want the highest strength one, that one there. Often used, like roofing lads are using it on basically walls above, flashings, all these type of things that tend to soak up moisture. Whack a nice coat of that on, sound.
What about